Jack Harmon wiped sweat from his forehead as he dug through the abandoned mining shaft. His breath came out in white puffs in the cold Martian air. 6 hours of work and nothing valuable found. Another wasted day. One more tunnel, he muttered to himself, adjusting the light on his helmet. The colony bills wouldn't pay themselves. 3 months behind on rent, and the colony administrator had made it clear. Find something worth selling or find new quarters. At 34, Jack had nothing to show for his life except calloused hands and a salvage license. He turned a corner and froze. Something moved in the darkness ahead. "Hello?" Jack called out, hand moving to the cutter at his belt. Mars Colony had strict rules about claim jumping. "This shaft is registered to me." The light from his helmet caught something that wasn't human, not even close. A thin, gray-skinned creature huddled against the rock wall, its 6-fingered hand pressed against a wound that leaked blue fluid. Jack stepped back. What the hell? The creature's large eyes fixed on him. Jack felt a pressure in his head, like fingers pressing against his brain. Asterisk help, please. Danger comes. Asterisk the words weren't spoken. They appeared in his mind, clear as day. You're in my head, Jack said, backing away. Get out. Asterisk die soon. Need ship. Must war. Asterisk every instinct told Jack to run. Contact with non-humans was illegal without clearance. The colony would throw him out for even talking to this thing. But the creature looked weak, dying. Its skin hung loose on its frame, and the blue blood pooled beneath it. What are you? Jack asked. Asterisk last vexery. Hunted. They come for all. Asterisk Jack knew he should call colony security. That was the law. Instead, he knelt beside the alien. What happened to you? Images flooded Jack's mind. A massive fleet. Planets burning. Entire species wiped out. The vexery fighting, then hiding, then running for centuries. Asterisk ship hidden. Asteroid belt. Help reach. Give warning. Give weapon. Asterisk weapon? Jack asked. The alien's hand shot out, grabbing Jack's wrist. Its touch was ice cold. Asterisk no time. They search. Find soon. Asterisk. Jack made his decision. I have a transport. Small, but it works. Getting the alien out wasn't easy. Jack wrapped it in thermal blankets and smuggled it through the back maintenance tunnels of the colony. Every security scanner made his heart pound. One scan would detect non-human life signs, and they'd both be finished. His ship sat in the lower docks, a beat-up transport barely big enough for one person. Jack helped the alien inside. Where exactly in the belt? He asked, firing up the engines. Asterisk coordinates in your mind now. Asterisk numbers appeared in Jack's thoughts, clear as if he'd memorized them years ago. The ship broke Mars orbit, heading toward the asteroid belt. The alien grew weaker by the minute. Hold on, Jack said. We're almost there. Asterisk too late for me. Not too late for you. For humans. Asterisk the alien placed both hands on Jack's temples. Pain exploded behind his eyes. Information poured into his mind like molten metal ship designs, weapon schematics, star maps, languages he'd never heard. Stop, Jack screamed, but the alien continued. Asterisk, carry this. Last hope, last weapon. Asterisk. Jack's vision blurred. The pain was unbearable. When he could see again, the alien was gone. Just empty blankets where it had been. A warning alarm blared. Jack looked up through the viewport. 7 massive ships had appeared from nowhere, materializing above Mars Colony. Each was larger than any human vessel ever built. The radio crackled to life with a message that made Jack's blood freeze. Humans of Sol System, you have harbored a war criminal. Surrender the Vixery knowledge carrier or face immediate extinction. Jack realized with horror that they meant him. Jack's hands shook as he pushed his small ship deeper into the asteroid belt. Behind him, Mars Colony burned. The alien ships fired beam after beam into the red planet's surface, each blast vaporizing entire city blocks. "They're killing everyone," Jack whispered, watching the destruction through his rear cameras. His head throbbed with the alien knowledge. Strange symbols and diagrams flashed across his vision. He understood things he shouldn't know: how the enemy ship's engines worked, where their shield generators were weakest, what powered their weapons. The radio filled with desperate calls for help. Earth was sending ships, but they wouldn't arrive for hours. By then, Mars would be gone. Jack hid his ship behind a large asteroid and tried to think. The knowledge in his head felt alive, growing and spreading. He looked at his ship's control panel and suddenly knew how to boost its power by 30%. His fingers moved without conscious thought, rewiring circuits and rerouting power. "What's happening to me?" he asked the empty cabin. A massive explosion lit up space. Jack checked his sensors. Earth's first response fleet had arrived, 5 military cruisers, the best humanity had. They didn't stand a chance. The alien ships turned as one and fired. 3 Earth cruisers disappeared instantly. The other 2 broke apart, their hulls splitting like paper. Jack felt sick. Thousands dead in seconds. He had to do something with this knowledge in his head. It had to be useful for more than hiding. A new signal cut through the radio static. "This is Commander Liz Reeves of the ECS Defiant. Any surviving ships, respond." Jack hesitated, then answered. "This is Jack Harmon, civilian transport." "Harmon, what's your location?" "We're gathering survivors." "I can't tell you that," Jack said. "They're looking for me." A pause. "Explain." "I helped an alien. It put something in my head. Weapon plans. That's why they're here." Another long pause. "Stay on this channel. I'm coming to you." 2 hours later, a battle-scarred Earth cruiser appeared near Jack's hiding spot. It was twice the size of his transport, its hull marked with fresh damage. Jack docked his ship inside the Defiant's bay. Commander Reeves met him personally, a tall woman with short gray hair and hard eyes. "Show me," she said. Jack described everything: the dying alien, the knowledge transfer, the attack. "We need to reach Neptune," Jack said. "There's a research facility there. I can see it in my head. We can build the weapon." "Neptune is 3 days away at full speed," Reeves said. "Those alien ships will catch us long before then." "Not if I help," Jack said. He walked to the ship's main control panel and placed his hands on it. Information flowed from his mind into the ship's computers. Alarms blared as systems reconfigured. "What are you doing?" Reeves demanded, drawing her weapon. "Making us faster," Jack said. And invisible to their sensors, the ship's engines changed pitch. The lights dimmed, then brightened. "How did you do that?" Reeves asked, looking at the readouts. "Our speed just doubled." Jack didn't answer. New images filled his mind, the Vexeri, fighting across countless worlds. But they weren't peaceful refugees. They were warriors, brutal and efficient. They had nearly conquered the galaxy once. "We need to hurry," Jack said. "There's something else you should know." Before he could continue, the ship rocked violently. Warning lights flashed. "They found us," Reeves shouted. 3 hegemony hunter ships appeared on the view screen, weapons charging. Jack's mind burned with new information. His hands moved to the weapons console. He didn't know how to fire a military ship's guns, but somehow his fingers knew exactly which buttons to press. Energy surged through the Defiant. A pulse of blue light shot from the ship, expanding outward. The hunter ships vanished, reduced to dust. Reeves stared at Jack in shock. "What did you just do?" Jack looked at his hands in horror. "I don't know. But I think I just told every ship in the hegemony fleet exactly where we are." The Defiant limped into Neptune's orbit 2 days later. They had outrun the main hegemony fleet, but not without cost. 3 more attacks had left the ship barely functioning. 17 crew members were dead. Jack stood at the viewport, watching the blue planet grow larger. His head pounded constantly now. The Vixery knowledge expanded, filling every corner of his mind. "We're being hailed," Reeves said. "Neptune Station wants identification." "Tell them we have the weapon," Jack replied. "Tell them Earth and Mars are falling." The research facility was hidden beneath Neptune's clouds, a massive structure built into one of the floating platforms that harvested gases from the atmosphere. As they docked, Jack saw other ships arriving. The last remnants of humanity's fleet. Dr. Alan Frost met them at the airlock. His face was grim. "Jupiter colony went dark an hour ago," he said. "We're receiving refugees from Saturn's moons. The hegemony is working its way through the system." Reeves nodded. "Then we don't have much time. This is Jack Harmon. He has what we need." The facility's main lab was huge, filled with scientists and engineers. Jack felt their eyes on him as he entered. Their hope, their fear. "I need to show you what's in my head," Jack said. Dr. Frost led him to a neural scanner. The machine hummed as it connected to Jack's mind. Images appeared on the lab's main screen, complex diagrams, equations, and schematics. "My God," Frost whispered. "This is beyond anything we've ever seen." For hours, the scientists worked, pulling information from Jack's mind. The weapon began to take shape, a device that could disrupt the quantum network linking the hegemony ships. "Without their network, they can't coordinate," Frost explained to Reeves. "Their advantage is their unity. This will turn their ships into isolated units." Jack sat alone in a corner, watching them work. The visions were getting worse. He no longer saw just weapon designs. He saw the war between the Vexery and the hegemony. Billions dead, planets shattered, and humanity just another piece in their ancient game. Reeves sat beside him. "You look terrible." "I'm losing myself," Jack admitted. "The knowledge is taking over." "Hold on a little longer," she said, touching his arm. "We need you." An alarm blared through the facility. A technician ran into the lab. "We've been compromised. Hegemony ships approaching." "How?" Frost demanded. "This facility is shielded." "Someone sent a signal," the technician said. From inside, Reeves drew her weapon. "We have a traitor." Jack didn't hear the rest. A new vision filled his mind, the final piece of the weapon's design. He saw what it required, what it would cost. He walked to the half-built device in the center of the lab. "It won't work like this." Frost looked up from his console. "What do you mean?" "The weapon needs a core. A processor powerful enough to track and disrupt every hegemony ship simultaneously." Jack touched the empty center of the device. "It needs a human mind." The room went silent. "Whose mind?" Reeves asked, though her face showed she already knew. "Mine," Jack said. "The Vexery knowledge has prepared me for this. No one else could survive the process." Frost shook his head. "The mind would be scattered across space. Your consciousness would exist everywhere and nowhere. You'd never be human again." Another alarm sounded. The facility shook as the first hegemony weapons hit the outer shields. "We don't have time to argue," Jack said. "Start the procedure." As scientists rushed to prepare the device, Reeves grabbed Jack's arm. "There has to be another way." Jack smiled sadly. "There isn't, but this way. My life finally means something." The facility rocked again, closer this time. The shields were failing. Jack lay down on the platform beside the weapon. Electrodes were attached to his head. The machine powered up with a high-pitched whine. 30 seconds until shield failure, someone shouted. Jack closed his eyes as the procedure began. Pain worse than anything he'd ever felt tore through his body. His mind stretched, expanded, began to break apart. The lab doors exploded inward. Hegemony troops poured through the opening, weapons raised. The last thing Jack heard as a human was Reeves shouting his name. Jack was everywhere and nowhere. His consciousness spread across the solar system like a web. He could see through every camera, hear through every microphone, access every network. The hegemony troops in the lab froze as the lights flickered. Their weapons powered down. What is happening? Their commander demanded in a harsh, clicking language. Jack understood it perfectly. He could understand all languages now. In the lab, Reeves fired her weapon at the confused aliens. Other humans joined the fight. The hegemony troops fell back, their technology suddenly useless. "The weapon is working," Frost shouted over the gunfire. "Harmon did it." Jack's awareness expanded beyond Neptune. He saw the hegemony fleet, 200 ships surrounding Earth, 30 more burning through Jupiter's atmosphere, dozens scattered throughout the system hunting human survivors. He reached out with his new consciousness and touched their network. The ship's lights flickered, their weapons powered down, their engines stalled. In Earth orbit, Admiral Peter Grant watched in amazement as the alien ships suddenly stopped firing. "What's happening?" he asked his tactical officer. "Unknown, sir. But they appear to be disabled." Grant didn't hesitate. "All ships attack now. This may be our only chance." Earth's remaining fleet, just 23 ships, moved against the massive hegemony force. Without their network, the alien vessels were vulnerable. Human weapons tore through their hulls. Jack guided the human ships, sending tactical data directly to their computers. He showed them where to hit, when to fire, how to avoid the few hegemony weapons still functioning. But as the battle raged, Jack felt himself changing. The human part of him was fading. Cold, logical thinking replaced emotion. He began to see the conflict in pure numbers. The hegemony had lost 47 ships. Humans had lost 8. Acceptable losses. He could sacrifice the Earth fleet if it meant destroying more enemy vessels. He could even sacrifice Earth itself to save the outer colonies. The math made sense. Jack directed 3 human ships toward a suicide run against the hegemony command vessel. They would die, but they would take the alien leader with them. An efficient trade. On the Defiant, now in Earth orbit, Reeves watched the battle unfold. She saw the 3 ships change course, heading for certain death. "Who ordered that attack?" she demanded. "The order came through the network," her communications officer replied. "It's signed ... Harmon." Reeves stared at the screen. Jack wouldn't sacrifice those ships. Something's wrong. She turned to Frost, who had escaped Neptune with them. "What's happening to him?" "The Vexry knowledge is taking over," Frost explained. "He's losing his humanity. Can we reach him? Talk to him?" "His consciousness core is still on Neptune, but his mind is everywhere." Reeves made her decision. "Take us back to Neptune. Now, Commander, we're winning here. We can't leave. If we lose Jack, we lose everything." He controls the weapon. As the Defiant broke from Earth orbit, Jack detected their movement. Illogical, inefficient, they should stay and fight. He probed deeper into the hegemony network and discovered something that shocked even his expanding mind. The hegemony wasn't just fighting to kill one Vexery. They were exterminators, moving from system to system, wiping out any species with the potential to challenge them. And they had saved their most powerful weapon for Earth. Jack watched in horror as a massive ship detached from the hegemony fleet. It moved toward Earth, powering up a weapon that could crack the planet's crust. The cold calculations in Jack's mind told him to let it happen. Earth's destruction would draw hegemony forces away from the outer colonies. More humans would survive in the long run. But something deep in what remained of his humanity rebelled against the math. As Reeves' ship raced back to Neptune, Jack made his choice. He would save Earth, but he wasn't sure if he was doing it because it was the right strategic move, or because he still remembered what it meant to be human. The Defiant reached Neptune as the hegemony planet killer moved into position above Earth. Reeves and her team fought their way back into the facility, now crawling with alien troops. "The core chamber is 2 levels down," Frost said, checking a blood-smeared map. If Jack's consciousness is still anchored anywhere, it's there. They moved through dark corridors, stepping over bodies of humans and aliens. The facility's emergency lights cast everything in red shadows. Meanwhile, Jack watched the planet killer charge its main weapon. He could stop it, but not without releasing his control over the rest of the hegemony fleet. A choice had to be made. In the depths of his expanding mind, Jack found something unexpected, a dimensional rift generator hidden in the Vexery knowledge. It could create a portal large enough to swallow ships, even fleets. But the power required would burn out his consciousness core. He would cease to exist. As Reeves reached the core chamber, she found Jack's body still connected to the machine. His eyes were open but empty, staring at nothing. The machine hummed with power. "Jack," she called, "can you hear me?" Screens around the room flickered to life. Jack's face appeared on all of them. "Reeves," he said, his voice coming from every speaker. "You shouldn't have come back." "You're losing yourself," she said. "The Vexery knowledge is taking over." "I see everything now," Jack replied. "The hegemony is about to destroy Earth. I can stop them, but I need to use the rift generator. What will happen to you?" "I'll be gone, but humanity will survive." Frost studied the readings on the core machine. "The power surge will fry his brain. There won't be anything left to save." Reeves stepped closer to Jack's body. "There has to be another way." "There isn't," Jack said from the screens. "But before I go, you should know the truth. I've found it in their network." Images appeared on the screens, the hegemony and Vexery, not as separate species, but as one race that had split apart millions of years ago. A civil war that had spread across the galaxy, destroying countless worlds caught in between. "They're the same species," Jack explained, "fighting the same war for millions of years. And we're just their latest battlefield." The facility shook as hegemony ships bombarded Neptune from orbit. "I'm out of time," Jack said. "Get your people to safety?" Reeves grabbed his physical hand. "Jack, remember who you are. Remember Earth. Remember being human." Something flickered in Jack's empty eyes. "I remember." Across the solar system, energy began to build. The dimensional rift generator activated, drawing power from every hegemony ship. A massive portal opened near Earth, its edges crackling with blue energy. The hegemony fleet, including the planet killer, was pulled toward it. But so were Earth's remaining ships, caught in the gravitational pull. In the core chamber, Jack's body convulsed. Blood ran from his nose and ears. "He's dying," Frost shouted. On the screens, Jack smiled. Not dying, changing. His consciousness left the facility, traveling across space to the hegemony command ship. There, he manifested a physical form in front of the alien commander, a glowing, human-shaped light. "You," the commander hissed. "Vexery puppet." "Not puppet," Jack replied. "Bridge." As ships were pulled into the rift, Jack rewrote its destination. Instead of oblivion, the fleet emerged in uncharted space, far from Earth. On the command ship, Jack faced the hegemony leader. "Your war ends today, at least in human space. The war never ends," the alien said. "Then help me change that," Jack replied. "Your people and the Vexery were once one. They can be again." Back on Neptune, Jack's human body went still. The screens went dark. "He's gone," Frost said quietly. Reeves watched as the readings on the core machine flatlined. "No, he's just somewhere else now." 6 months later, Earth began rebuilding. The outer colonies reconnected. Humanity had survived, though changed forever by the knowledge that they weren't alone in the universe. On a clear night, Reeves stood on a hill outside the new Earth capital, looking at the stars. Her comm unit beeped with a message from an unknown source. "I remain human where it matters. I'll return when you're ready for the stars." Reeves smiled up at the night sky. "We'll be waiting, Jack."